This is going to blow your mind. Imagine a world teeming with life. Lush rainforests echo with the calls of exotic birds, pristine coral reefs shimmer with vibrant colors, majestic elephants roam vast savannas. This is the beauty of our planet, a tapestry of life woven together over millennia. However, this natural splendor is under threat. Our planet is warming at an alarming rate, primarily due to human activities. This climate change is disrupting the delicate balance of nature, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The once pristine environments are changing. Glaciers are melting at an unprecedented rate, contributing to rising sea levels. Droughts are becoming more frequent and severe, turning fertile lands into barren wastelands. These changes are not merely aesthetic, they are a stark warning of the profound impact climate change is having on our planet's wildlife. The consequences of our actions are far-reaching, threatening the very survival of countless species and the health of our planet. We must act now, with urgency and determination, to mitigate these changes and preserve the wonders of the natural world for generations to come. Across the globe, wildlife populations are plummeting. This decline is a silent crisis with far-reaching implications. The World Wildlife Fund reports a 69% average decline in monitored wildlife populations since 1970. Human activities and climate change pressure our planet's biodiversity. The IUCN Red List shows thousands of species as vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered. This highlights the urgent need for conservation efforts. Habitat loss from deforestation and human encroachment deprives wildlife of homes and food. Pollution poisons environments and disrupts ecosystems. Climate change exacerbates these threats, pushing species closer to the brink. The decline in wildlife is a threat to our well-being. We rely on healthy ecosystems for clean air, fresh water, and food security. Climate change is not a distant threat. Its impacts are already being felt by wildlife around the world. The bramble K. melimus, a small rodent native to a tiny island in the Torres Strait, was declared extinct in 2016. Rising sea levels, driven by climate change, inundated their low-lying island home, wiping out the entire species. Komodo dragons, the largest living lizards on Earth, are facing an uncertain future. Rising sea levels threaten to submerge their island habitats in Indonesia, shrinking their hunting grounds and putting their survival at risk. These ancient creatures, once symbols of resilience, are now vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Puffins, the charismatic seabirds known for their colorful beaks, are struggling to breed as climate change disrupts their food supply. Warming ocean temperatures are pushing their prey fish further north, forcing puffins to travel longer distances to find food. This disruption is leading to breeding failures and declining populations. These are just a few examples of the countless species facing extinction due to climate change. The loss of each species represents a loss of biodiversity, weakening the intricate web of life on our planet. Climate change impacts entire ecosystems, not just individual species. Coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, are highly vulnerable to warming oceans. Even slight temperature increases cause coral bleaching, expelling symbiotic algae. Bleached corals are weakened and more susceptible to disease. Without cooling, they die, leaving lifeless skeletons. Coral loss devastates marine life, which relies on reefs for habitat and food. On land, species like elephants and tigers face shrinking habitats due to climate change. Elephants are vulnerable to frequent severe droughts. Tigers face additional pressure from climate change, threatening their survival. Rising sea levels threaten mangrove habitats, disrupting prey availability. Disrupted ecosystems affect wildlife and millions of people relying on them. Guardians of the natural world. The challenges facing our planet's wildlife are daunting, but there is still hope. We have the power to protect the natural world for future generations. Our actions today will determine the fate of countless species. We must become guardians, recognizing the value of all life on Earth. This requires a shift from exploitation to respect and stewardship. Our efforts must be guided by science and urgency. We must listen to scientists who understand climate change and its impact. Their research provides insights into actions we need to take. The task ahead is essential. We must act with compassion to protect the natural world. The future of life on Earth depends on it. Section 6. Preserving our planet's treasures. One of the most effective ways to protect wildlife is to preserve their habitats. Establishing protected areas, such as national parks and wildlife reserves, can provide safe havens for endangered species and help conserve biodiversity. These protected areas not only safeguard wildlife, but also provide numerous benefits to humans. They act as carbon sinks, absorbing and storing vast amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, helping to mitigate climate change. They also provide clean air and water, regulate climate, and offer opportunities for recreation and ecotourism. However, simply designating protected areas is not enough. We must ensure that these areas are effectively managed and protected from threats such as poaching, illegal logging, and mining. This requires adequate funding, trained personnel, and community involvement. Section 7. A call for action. Reducing our footprint. Addressing climate change is crucial for protecting wildlife. Reducing our carbon footprint is paramount in this endeavor. We must transition away from fossil fuels and embrace renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydropower. Governments, businesses, and individuals all have a role to play in this transition. Governments can implement policies that incentivize renewable energy production and discourage the use of fossil fuels. Businesses can invest in sustainable practices and reduce their carbon emissions. Individuals can make conscious choices to reduce their own carbon footprints, such as using public transportation, cycling, walking, and consuming less energy at home. Every effort counts. By working together, we can create a future where our energy needs are met sustainably without compromising the health of our planet. Section 8. United for Wildlife. Protecting wildlife is a global responsibility that requires international cooperation. Countries must work together to address transboundary issues such as wildlife trafficking, habitat loss, and climate change. International agreements such as the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna, CITES, play a crucial role in regulating the trade of endangered species and preventing their exploitation. Strengthening these agreements and ensuring their effective implementation is essential for protecting wildlife from illegal trade. Collaboration among governments, conservation organizations, and local communities is key to successful conservation efforts. Sharing knowledge, resources, and best practices can amplify our impact and lead to more effective conservation strategies. Section 9. A future where wildlife thrives. The future of our planet's wildlife hangs in the balance. The challenges are immense, but so is our capacity for innovation, compassion, and collective action. We must act now with urgency and determination to mitigate the impacts of climate change and protect the natural world for future generations. Imagine a future where our planet is once again teeming with life, where rainforests echo with the calls of exotic birds, coral reefs shimmer with vibrant colors, and majestic elephants roam vast savannas. This is the future we must strive for. By embracing sustainable practices, reducing our carbon footprint, protecting habitats, and working together, we can create a world where wildlife thrives and the wonders of the natural world continue to inspire us for generations to come. The future of life on Earth depends on it, and the time to act is now. Let us be the generation that makes a difference, for the sake of wildlife, for the sake of our planet, and for the sake of our own future.